Hi, all of you, online students. Good morning. I'm sorry for being late. Generally, I'm not late. Some things. Okay, we start now. Yeah, thanks for being patient. Hi, Naveen, Digambar, Abhishek, all of you. This morning, I had a puncture in the car, so I had to juggle between cab and metro finally. Okay, we start off. Yes, good morning, and we'll start with the GS Geography now. GS Geography, and the older batch students, Apur sir could not finish off his social issues. He needed 1 or 2 more classes. It was an emergency in his family, some mishap, and he had to rush. That's why the Saturday's class has been postponed. I'll let you know. But I didn't want to stop the scheduling of the classes. Today we were scheduled to start geography, which I'm doing, and those topics of social issues and security. I'll let you know when we can have it. Hopefully this week itself, we'll wind that up. So GS Geography, the quick facts, some of you are part of the first session we had for orientation. So paper 1 is GS Geography, but geography has an overlap. It has an overlap with GS paper 2, GS paper 3. GS paper 2 has topics of social inequalities and social justice, and paper 3 has environment, it has disaster management. Paper 2 also has international relations which are part of the geopolitics. So don't see geography alone as paper 1 geography. Okay, paper 1 mein to obvious hai hi hai, there's no doubt about it, but you must read geography along with these two, and a very important other part is economy. Economy, topics of agriculture, topics of industries, of resources, of infrastructure, construction, road, railways. That's a huge portion of geography here. So study geography that ways. And I had asked the students in the last class, some of you are continuing from the older batch, others who have joined me afresh. So those who joined me afresh, we had one orientation session, and in that session we have mentioned the syllabus. So benefit of those who have not joined me then, आप एक बार syllabus दोबारा देख लो, and I'll recommend that all of you write your syllabus down and memorize it if possible. Okay, so these are the topics of your syllabus. You may all cross-check once. Here we are. Do this. The syllabus reads as, these are the topics of geography in your paper 1. Salient features of world physical geography, distribution of natural resources across the world, and South Asia, Indian subcontinent to be more specific. Factors responsible for location of primary, secondary, and tertiary sector in various parts of the world, including India. Important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic activity. Important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic cyclones, geographical features and their locations. Last year, there was a question asked in the mains, write a note on fjords, again, how are they important to man? A lot of people were surprised, because fjords kyun pooch diya? Fjords, F-G-O-R-D-S. They're one type of landforms. The syllabus clearly says that, okay, that you have to know some of the geographical features and their location. और यहाँ भी लिखा हुआ है salient features of world physical geography. Okay, so the study must include some of these important features, and it specifies water bodies, ice caps, flora and fauna, effects on the changes. So Arctic में क्या change हो रहा है, Antarctica में क्या change हो रहा है. Okay, so I recommend all of you should know your syllabus very, very well. And I'll try teaching to the syllabus itself. Digambar, not exactly, he's asking me, sir, is geography optional study and GS geography, is it same? It is not. Optional will give you lot of base, optional will give you lot of understanding advantage. But the approach of study has to be different. Okay, क्या चीज में focus करना है, what topics you must probably update on. So you'll get an idea today itself, which I don't teach otherwise in the optional subjects. So GS geography must be treated separately. Okay, of course, geography optional will give you advantage, but optional will not be enough for answering the questions of GS geography. Okay, so those who can, please write down the syllabus, salient features of the world physical geography, distribution of, मैं numbering कर दिया, there are 6 topics here. I've numbered them for you if you can see it. The salient features of world physical geography, 1. Resources across the world is 2. Then the industries, factors responsible for primary, secondary, tertiary sector industries is 3. The 4th is geophysical phenomena is 4. Geophysical phenomena is 4. And geographical features and their locations. Geographical features and the location is 5. And this one, changes in the critical geographical features. How are some of the important geographical features changing? How are the mountains changing? How are the rivers changing? How are the oceans changing? How are the Arctic and Antarctica as an ecosystem changing? Changes in the critical geographical features, including water bodies, ice caps, and in the flora and fauna and the effects of such changes. Okay, the forests have changed. Okay, the ecosystems are getting altered. Okay, the 6 elements of geography looks fairly compact, but will detail is as required. Hi Sumit, hello Shivangi, good morning. So I was just discussing the syllabus, and all of you must maintain the syllabus. And I think as a part of the support we are giving you, the offline students and the online students, you'll get a copy of PYQs. Have you got it already? No, you'll get it. Or we'll put it online also. So we have now, this is a very important document for all of you. The prelims mein, subject-wise, okay, the questions are segregated. So geography ka alag hai, economy ka alag hai, and go through the questions as frequently as possible. I've given you for the last 10 years, okay, and slowly, gradually, once you've done the 10 years, I'll suggest go back beyond 2013 also. Okay, so make sure it's there with all of you. This booklet, online students, you'll get it on your platform dashboard itself, the geography subject-wise PYQs. Okay? Now, quickly repeating, what will your reference book be? What is your reference book? Okay. So now for geography, there is no prescribed textbook alag se. I'll recommend stick with the NCRTs, okay, plus the class notes, plus you must update for current affairs. So class notes will have quite a bit of current affairs also. NCRTs, class 11th and 12th, there are 4 NCERT textbooks. Class 11th and class 12th, there are 4 NCERT textbooks. India Physical, India Human Aspects, World Physical, World Human Aspects. Again, and all the 4 are important. And for students who were in the orientation session for the new batch, I had recommended कि NCERT class 11th. This is this book, which is the Fundamentals of Physical Geography. It is this textbook, Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Okay, इसके कुछ chapters आप अपने आप पढ़ेंगे. I will teach it to you ultimately. Okay, so this is the textbook, class 11th, and there are 16 chapters in this. I have asked students to study the first 7 chapters, ignoring the first one. Okay, so others also you can start off now. So this is your index. You can ignore the first one. The pehla chapter hai geography as a discipline. If you can look up, is no harm there. But I want you to read, okay, chapter number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. The origin and evolution of Earth, interiors of Earth, distributions of oceans and continents, minerals and rocks, geomorphic process, landforms and their evolution. ये 6 chapter हैं, 2 to 7, 6 chapters. Don't wait for the class space. Whatever I'll teach, आप तो पढ़ोगे वो ही. But do this as an additional work. And do this का मतलब है, read the book and make your summaries. So those who were not in the first class, I will spend some time after the class today and then tell you how the summary must be done. And ask students to submit it. Have some of you done it? No? You have done it? Good, nice. So I had given them a time of 4-5 days, submit the summaries. Those who started late, हम आपको और एक हफ्ता दे देते हैं. Try submitting the summaries of these 6 chapters with us by end of this week. So once the class gets over, I'll spend some more time with those who have not been in the first class. I'll explain what is to be done. Okay, so we start off. Naveen will make a tab on the online dashboard mein, where you can submit it there. There's a button, you click that, you must scan your pages and submit it. And all offline students, you can give us the physical copy. Okay, Anushka, let me start the class first. And those who have missed out the first lecture of orientation, I'll repeat those topics to you, no worries. Hello, Nilavati, hi. Anuksha, hello. Sumit, okay. So I have explained the syllabus and your readings. Now, one thing that troubles most of us is, sir, current affairs hum kahan se karenge? From where will we do the current affairs? And because geography environment is heavy on current affairs, environment is entirely current affairs for that matter. The source of current affairs, one is the newspapers. Newspaper articles, editorials, that's one source. A second source will be magazines. Now, when I say magazines, I do not mean the booklets given by the institutes. Okay? The magazines I'm talking about is the most important being Down to Earth. Okay? The second important source is Kurukshetra and Yojana. Kurukshetra Yojana, it does not look like geography source, but they are. A topic that talks about rural development, a topic that talks about infrastructure, population, poverty, women issues. Okay, so they all are geography related topics. So Kurukshetra magazine, Yojana magazine, Down to Earth, ये 3 पे रखो. Okay, and the third source, we also have a current affairs compilation. जो आप जो institutes का compilation को magazine बोलते हो, they essentially are compilations. So we have a separate compilation only for geography and environment. So for that, what you must do is, you must go to Edukemy website. Go to Edukemy website. There is a tab called as resources. Under resources, you'll have current affairs and current affairs, geography and environment. Okay, you can rely on this. Why I have done this? Because I think we have been in geography for quite some time. So I felt that geography dependence can be met from these. So this resource has lot of down to earth. It has Yojana, Kurukshetra also. Okay, you can stick on with this. And all of you guys, you are part of Edukemy's GS course. One very important thing is, please trust us for our process, and also trust us for all the supporting document. What I mean by this is, don't run around looking for new source of reading. वो हमारा एक आदत खराब है. We go to maybe a group of students. Somebody says something, somebody says something. Do you have that book, this book? And you end up buying lot of books. Don't do that. Stick with us. Whatever we tell you to read, read that. Okay. The idea is that you must not be losing sleep over, okay, what all you may have been missing. वो एक FOMO होता है कि the other guy is reading other 3 books, I'm not reading that. Other guy is reading some other magazine, I'm not reading that. Don't do that. You stick with us. Stick with us हमारे class notes के साथ. Stick with us with our material. Stick with us for the current affairs also. Okay, and we'll give you whatever tests you need. We'll have revision sessions, what you need. Don't go around looking in too many resources. So current affairs ke liye, for the geography, stick with us. For the entire GS for that matter. And we'll manage the process as the course progresses. Take all of you. So the source of current affairs is newspapers, magazines, and our current affairs compilation. What was that, Saubhagya? Now see, good question. He's asking me, sir, can we depend only on this for current affairs? If I'm compiling, can you remember and read only this one? So I'll just explain this to you. Dekho, when you say current affairs, no, there are 2 things of current affairs. One is the information, the facts, okay, the data, the issues. Okay, current affairs ka, this is okay, the obvious things in current affairs. Information hai, data hai, facts hai, issues hai, so on. Another very important aspect is analysis and understanding of what is happening. Okay? If you ask me, this is very important, but this ultimately should do this for your education. So when you read compilations, unfortunately, the compilations have more of this. They don't have this. Analysis कैसे आता है? Analysis language से आता है. Analysis comes from arguments. Analysis comes from, okay, certain processing of the information. So what happens is, if you read only compilations, compilations are facts. Compilation में क्या करते हैं? They remove all the additional words and sentences and just give you the most important facts. If you read only information, you can never appreciate current affairs. And I'll tell you, if I look at the students last 10 years mein, there has been a huge change in the students' processing abilities. Because before 10 years, this type of material was not much. Okay. And people still went back to reading newspapers. But today, we have so much of processed material that hum ye karna hi nahi chahte ab. It is a tedious process. The only way you can develop this is if you read the actual article. The actual writer pe agar wo nahi padhoge, you'll never develop the elements of analysis. Okay, it's something like, in the class also I'll tell you, don't read only the class notes. Class notes will give you a lot of this. But without the book reading, you'll never appreciate what you are studying. So I am always recommending, read along with the books. Okay, not everything, but whatever we guide you with. So your question, okay, so is this enough? I'll say no. Okay, read some articles, not all of them, maybe 2 or 3 articles. Read some magazines on some articles maybe. Okay, and also you have to combine all the 3 together. If you depend only on this and this, your current affairs will never be complete. If you do only this, the analysis will be weak. So it's a mix. Some things you'll read from here and some you'll read from here. Naveen, बाद में, अभी आप जो कर रहे हो करो, I'll spend another day for that. Okay, so I think I have primed you now. So you know the syllabus, you know the reference book to be read, you also know how to current affairs. One more book I forgot to mention, I'll recommend that to you. So NCRTs, I said, NCRTs and the class notes. One more book you better buy is Indian Geography by D.R. Khuller. This is a textbook actually for the optional geography students. But you'll need it for some reference. And don't read the whole book, please. I'll let you know what to read, okay, whenever I come to those topics. All good here? Fine, online, offline? I can start the topics now. Any question to clarify? Yes, your assignment is NCRT class 11th ka fundamentals of physical geography. Try submitting it by this weekend. And I have told you only 6 chapters. Stay back after class and I'll tell you if you have missed out how to do that. Can I move on online? All good? Okay, fine. So we start off now. Now, geography, two broad part hai. Geography is about earth and man. Okay. Whatever earth has and whatever man does on the earth's surface. Okay. ये एक part of geography है. Earth and man. So what does the earth have? Atmosphere. What does the earth have? Land. What does earth have? Water. What earth has? Forests. What does man do? Agriculture. What does man do? Industries, trade, transport. So geography का एक part है earth and man. Okay, this is what we know bulk of geography as. एक और part है, okay, the extra terrestrial aspects. This is earth in relation to the outer space. Earth and moon, earth and sun, earth and Mars, earth and the other galaxies be. Okay. So geography typically is what? Geography is the study of earth. Study of earth mein, one is study of earth in relationship to man, and second is study of earth in relation to the outer space. There was a geographer called as Alexander Humboldt. He is a very tall personality in geography, and he called this study as uranology. He called this as the uranology. So we don't just study earth के अंदर क्या है या earth के ऊपर क्या है. Earth के अंदर क्या है? Earth has mantle, Earth has rocks, Earth has core, okay, Earth has the crust. Earth के ऊपर क्या है? Earth has water, Earth has land, okay, Earth has forests, and whatever man does. We also study Earth in relationship to the outer space. That's why you must know a bit of solar system, a bit of our Milky Way galaxies, what are black holes, which are topics of science and technology also. But I'll quickly tell you in relationship to the Earth. Okay, let's be clear here. So some of them asked me, sir, aap geography mein, why are you teaching solar system? In geography, why am I teaching some aspects of the galaxies? That's the reason. And this topic actually overlaps with science and technology, and you focus on the current affairs, not everything. I'll take you through some of those points today. Okay? So I'm starting with this part. Earth in relationship to the outer space. Okay, Earth, solar system, galaxies and space. This is the theme I'm starting off with. Earth, solar system, galaxies and the space. So quickly some facts I believe all of you know, or if not, you'll know it now. You understand Earth is part of a solar system. Earth is part of solar system. And how many planets do we have? Planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm missing Uranus. Yeah, sorry. Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. We had Pluto also as a planet, but now we say it's not a planet. It's too small to be a planet. So for a long time, we spend our life studying there are 9 planets, but now we'll keep it to the 8 planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Now, in this list, the first 4 are called as rocky planets. You all will keep writing as I speak, okay? Some of you are not used to, you all are exposed to different type of teachers. So in my case, I will dictate some, I will write some, and you will keep writing as I speak. So there are 8 planets. The second fact I'm saying is that the first 4 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, they are called as rocky planets because they are primarily made up of rocks. They're called as rocky planets. Whereas the other 4, they're gaseous. Okay, we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. These are the gaseous planets. Gaseous planets, they are more like Jupiter. Jupiter is a hot ball of gas largely. Okay, so we also call these as Jovian planets. We also call this as Jovian. Jovian का मतलब होता है like Jupiter. Okay, whereas the first 4 are also called as terrestrial planets. Terrestrial as in Earth. They are like Earth. The first 4 are called as rocky planets, also called as terrestrial planets. The other 4 are called as gaseous planets or referred to as Jovian planets. They are more gas. They are more gas in their composition. Because of which the Jovian planets will have lesser density. Okay, whereas the rocky planets are more dense. So one more fact here, our Earth has a density of 5.5. It is the densest planet in our solar system. It is the densest planet in our solar system. Okay, 5.5 का मतलब क्या है? It is 5.5 times heavier than water. When we talk about density, okay, one way of comparing is compare with water. Water is considered to be 1. और Earth जो है, वो 5.5 times okay, heavier than water है. Okay, whereas the Jovian planets are much less dense. Jovian planets are much less dense. In fact, Jupiter का जो density है, Jupiter has a density of less than 1. It said Jupiter can float on the oceans of the Earth. The Jupiter density is less than 1. It said that Jupiter can float on Earth's waters. And Jupiter is the largest in terms of size. Okay, but it is lighter than the Earth density, lighter than the water on Earth. So that's one more fact. Another fact is, now Mercury and Venus, they are closest to the Sun. The closest to the Sun. Mercury, Venus are the only planets that have no moons. They have no moons, they have got no satellites, Mercury, Venus. Okay. In terms of size, okay, in terms of its looks to some extent, Venus is very similar to Earth. That's why Venus is often called as Earth's twin. Unlike some books will mention, Mars is also Earth's twin. No worries. But I'll tell you why they are similar in what ways. Okay. So Venus, in terms of its size, it is very comparable to Earth. Okay. That is why it's called as Earth's twin. Whereas if you look at Mars, okay, so Mars as Earth's twin because of two factors. One is Mars का जो tilt है, the axial tilt is very similar to Earth. The axis of Earth is tilted at around 23.5 degrees to the vertical. So Mars का भी tilt is very similar to that of Earth, around the range of 21 and 23 degrees. Okay. And second, Mars is perhaps the only planet as of now that has tectonics processes. Tectonic process का मतलब है the continents are moving in some ways, and now we have found evidence of some water also. So in terms of the internal process, what's tectonics? Tectonics are the internal processes of processes within the Mars. Internal process within Mars. ये दो चीज जो है, it's found in Mars. That's why some call Venus as Earth's twin. Others say no, Mars is more like Earth. That's why when we talk about habitation or we talk about colonies, we look at Mars more. In fact, okay, this axial tilt का एक consequence है that there will be seasons. The impact of axial tilt is that Mars, like Earth, will have seasons. Mars, like Earth, will have seasons because of its axial tilt. Because of its axial tilt. Okay, the axis of Earth and Mars. So if this is the Earth, ये है vertical, the Earth is tilted, हल्का सा ऐसे tilt है. All the planets have a tilt. Okay, the tilt varies. For Earth, the tilt is around 23.5 degrees to the vertical. Mars का similar है almost, in the range of 21 to 23 degree centigrade. All planets will have a tilt, but Mars tilt is very close to the Earth. In fact, one fact you might know this, because of its tectonics, NASA has launched a mission called as InSight mission. A mission called as InSight mission. InSight mission is to study Mars tectonic processes. Mission InSight to study the tectonic processes of the planet Mars. I'll give you some names of other missions also, जो relevant होगा. We'll come back on that. Okay, I'm done with this part. Now, certain miscellaneous facts. Miscellaneous facts. Number one, okay, which is closest to the sun? Mercury. Mercury is the closest. Therefore, which is the hottest planet? That's the mistake. Hottest planet is Venus, not Mercury. Reason being, Mercury closest to hai, but Mercury does not have an atmosphere. Okay, atmosphere will trap the heat. Okay, is almost missing. Whereas Venus has one of the densest atmosphere. So Venus में greenhouse gas impact is very high. It's hottest planet because it has the densest atmosphere. Venus has the most effective greenhouse gas effect. What's greenhouse gas effect? Some phenomena by which a planet can trap the solar heat. Okay, so Venus में ये maximum है. So Venus is the hottest planet. Yes, Venus is also called as the evening star, the morning star. You can see it like a star. You're right. It's also called as the morning star, also called as the evening star. Okay, and one more thing. Earth का जो atmosphere है, it is considered to be just right in density. It is just the right amount of density. Okay, that's why Earth is able to maintain a temperature, okay, that can support life. The Earth का जो density है, it is just right. Earth's atmosphere density is just right. Okay, Earth's atmosphere has just the right density, because of which the temperature is such that it can support life. If it was more dense, Earth would have become far more hotter. If it was less dense, Earth would have been far more cooler. Yes, Satyam, correct. Tectonic process means it has magma, it has molten rocks, it has a core, correct. Yes, but details of which we do not know yet. InSight mission will tell us something about the interiors of the Mars. Okay, Earth has just the right temperature, and it is now said that in the past, Mars may have had a denser atmosphere, but because of its distance from the sun, okay, the gases may have escaped. Okay, and mass density and its gravity also may have played some role. Just know this. In the past, Mars may have had a denser atmosphere, but today a lot of gases have escaped. Okay, वो क्या reason है, mechanism है, I ignore that. Okay, that's one fact. Another fact, all keeping pace with me? Online, offline? Online, all keeping pace with me? You must keep writing. Okay, you understand and keep writing. Yeah, okay, very nice. The next fact. So, this is a discovery. Mercury, despite being very, very close to sun, has ice. Okay, this is a new discovery. I'll tell you what this means. Mercury, despite being very close to sun, Mercury has ice. देखो, ये ice का ना, one reason is, what is the source of ice? And number two, okay, how can ice not melt and evaporate, okay, on Venus? ठीक है? Source क्या है? Because ice means there is some water. Okay, there's some water which has become ice. ये जो ice है, source of ice क्या है? It is now agreed that the source of ice are probably comets. I'll tell you what comets are. They are something like rocks in the space moving, and comets have lot of ice in them. So sometime in the past, some comet may have struck the Mercury planet, and some ice is on Mercury. Okay, that's how it is there. And why it has not melted? Because जो Mercury का rotation is very, very slow. One of the slowest planets in terms of rotation. So the Mercury का एक part जो है never faces the sun almost, or faces for a very short time. Okay, so because of its a slow rotation, face of Mercury, okay, does not face the sun, and that part remains, okay, much more cooler. Because atmosphere नहीं है, the heat trap नहीं कर सकता. This is the Mercury planet. Okay, this is the sun on this side. This side is hot. This side is away from the sun, and no atmosphere to trap the heat. So this part is very, very hot, and this part remains very, very cold. Okay, so these parts have some amount of ice. Okay, that's one fact. Now, the presence of ice on Mercury tells us what? The presence of ice on Mercury tells us that the life-building matter, okay, the life-building matter is scattered across the universe. Okay, आपको gases चाहिए, you need heat, you need water. These components, the matter that make up life, okay, life forming matter is scattered across the universe. This was the important realization. Earth में all of those things have come together in a very smart way, but does not mean कि बाकी जगह life नहीं हो सकता है. Okay, this was the conclusion of what does it mean to find ice on Mercury. Okay, that's one fact. Another very important fact, that there's a term called as, before that I go on, just know this, Earth is a part of a galaxy. What is it called as? It's called as the Milky Way. Earth is part of a galaxy called as Milky Way. हिंदी में इसको बोलते हैं आकाश गंगा. It's like a river of stars and heavenly body. Okay, and Delhi में तो नहीं दिखाई देगा because of the pollution sky. Otherwise, अगर clear sky है, से mountains में है, okay, you can see a band of stars. Night sky में एकदम पूरा ऐसे band दिखाई देगा आपको. It is the Milky Way. Okay, that's one fact. And no, one more fact. Milky Way, जो Earth का Milky Way है, the Milky Way is an example of a spiral galaxy. Galaxy different type के होते हैं. Okay, there are globular galaxies, there are spiral galaxies, there are irregular shaped galaxies, there are many shapes, there are elliptical galaxies. So Earth's Okay, Milky Way is spiral. Spiral का मतलब है ऐसे ऐसे कुछ bands बने होंगे इसके. They are like spirals like this. Okay, they are spiral galaxies. Okay, spiral galaxy में there are some sectors. I'll show the diagram to you. So this is the center of the Milky Way, and these are some of the arms of the Milky Way, and they have named these as कुछ sectors का नाम, इसका एक नाम है, इसका एक नाम है, इसका एक नाम है. The names of these bands. One such band is called as the Orion sector. One such band is called as the Orion sector. Our solar system is in the Orion sector of the Milky Way. Our solar system is on the Orion, O-R-I-O-N, Orion sector of the Milky Way. और Milky Way के ना edge में है, बीच में नहीं है, थोड़ा दूर है. This is the center of Milky Way galaxy, galactic center है. जो solar system है, it is on the outer edge के तरफ में. Just know this, that our solar system is on the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Is on the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, in the Orion sector. In the Orion sector. So I kept a photograph of that. I wanted you to see it. I hope it is visible. It's there on the internet. Okay, I'll show it to you. Not that you should remember this. You all can is this better now? I'm showing you on my phone. Yeah. ठीक है? You can see the spiral shape now. Spiral shape में can you see Orion Cygnus band बना हुआ है यहाँ पर? This is the Orion Cygnus band here. There is a Norma sector. There is a Sagittarius sector. Okay, so our solar system is here, in this part here. So this is the galactic center. ठीक है? This is the galactic center here, somewhere here, and थोड़ा दूर में this is the Orion Cygnus solar system. And remember, just as the planets, they are revolving around solar system, the sun also revolves around the galactic center. It's a very, very slow, ये भी move करता रहता है. So imagine a sun here, the planets are moving, the whole system is also moving along with the sun. So as of now, okay, for a long, long time, the sun is somewhere here. So it's possible in the future, the sun can come in this sector also. It will come for that matter. Just as the planets are revolving around the sun, and sun is the center of the solar system, the same way, the sun also moves around the center of the galaxy. There is a galactic center also around which the sun is moving. Okay, just know this fact. Okay, so you understand what is Milky Way, what is Orion sector. Now, there is a new concept and is becoming very popular now. A concept called as exoplanets. What are exoplanets? Exoplanets are the planets of solar systems, okay, other than our solar system. They are the planets of solar system other than that of our solar system. So बाकी solar systems भी हैं. Our sun is one of the stars. There are, God knows, millions, billions, gazillions of such solar systems. तो उनके जो planets को बोलते हैं exoplanets. And a lot of interest we have in another galaxy. एक और galaxy है, galaxy which is closest to us is the Andromeda galaxy. We have Milky Way galaxy. एक और galaxy है which is closest to our solar system. Okay, it's called as the Andromeda galaxy. Andromeda galaxy also has lot of such suns and solar systems. उनके जो planets होते हैं, we call those as the exoplanets. Now, why are Andromeda? Andromeda, Andromeda galaxy. Okay, and what is I'll make you write also, but you keep writing down. ये news में क्यों है? Why? Because once these exoplanets have been discovered, we have found that many of these planets have very similar conditions like that of Earth. So when we are looking for the possibility of life elsewhere, okay, we are looking for all planets which are very much like Earth. Okay, so in our solar system, okay, there is no other planet like Earth which can support life the way we are seeing it. Okay, but maybe बाकी जगह ऐसे solar systems हैं. Write down now. Exoplanets are of great interest. Exoplanets are of great interest because they are the possibility of extraterrestrial life. They are the possibility of extraterrestrial life. It is considered, next point, it is considered that in our solar system, it's highly unlikely to have the range of life forms that Earth has. Highly unlikely to have a range of life forms that Earth has. Okay. It is the other solar systems. Where conditions of temperature, atmosphere and water, may be just adequate. एक और फैक्ट समझो आप, listen. We found a lot of exoplanets, but most exoplanets were very large. A very large one बहुत less dense होगा. Okay, so they were looking at exoplanets which are around Earth size, and one of the measure is called as Neptune size. If you have a planet like Neptune, Uranus, Earth, okay, and they've discovered some of those in our other galaxies. So a term bana from that. They now have a term called as before that, the most important factor in life's existence is what? Anybody can tell me? अगर एक उठाना है factor, what's the most important factor for life existence? Water. Correct. Because अगर water है, then temperature is also right. अगर water है, every possibility there will be some hydrological cycle. अगर hydrological cycle है and water is there, ultimately oxygen will form. So they all look for planets which have water. Water is considered to represent all the other conditions for life. So life के लिए हमें क्या चाहिए? Good temperature चाहिए, हमें oxygen चाहिए, and we need water. But अगर water मिल गया आपको, all other also fall into place. ठीक है? Now, for this, there is a term called as Goldilocks zone. A term called as Goldilocks zone. Okay. It is also referred to as circumstellar habitable zone. Circumstellar habitable zone. शॉर्ट में इसको CHZ भी लिखते हैं. The Goldilocks zone or the circumstellar habitable zone. यह है क्या? This is an zone, okay, beyond the solar system or beyond the sun. This is a zone, or this is an orbital zone. This is an orbital, okay, location beyond a star, where the conditions, it's a zone or it is an orbital location beyond the star, okay, where the conditions for life and the presence of water is just right. It's a zone, it's an orbital location beyond a star where the conditions for life and the presence of water is just right. Okay. The word Goldilocks hai, this comes from a fairy tale. Goldilocks and the three bears. There is a girl called as Goldilocks, and there are three bears, and the bears talk about something that is just right bed, just right chair, just right porridge to eat. The concept है just right. Okay, this just right is called as the Goldilocks, okay, condition. Okay, because the girl's name was Goldilocks. Just know this as a fable. So from that they have come up कि वो what is the location, वो जगह क्या है. So if this is a star, okay, what is that zone, वो belt क्या है, where the conditions are just right for temperature, for water to exist. So that zone is called as the Goldilocks zone or a circumstellar, okay, habitable zone. Okay, this is the star, around the star, what is the habitable zone? And we have found the Goldilocks zone to exist in many exoplanets. Okay, the Goldilocks zone is discovered for many exoplanets. For many exoplanets. Or there are certain range of exoplanets. There are certain types of exoplanets. We have called them as the Kepler planets. We call them as the Kepler, K-E-P-P-L-E-R, Kepler planets. As of now, we think the Kepler planets have the maximum chance of having life outside Earth. इसके बहुत सारे names हैं. I just have noted some of the names. There's Kepler 62F. There is Kepler 62F. Or Kepler with single P, not double P. Sorry. Kepler planets क्या हैं? They're exoplanets where the life, okay, is most likely अगर होगा तो. There's one Kepler 62F. There's one Kepler 422b. Kepler 442b. There's one more called as 186f. Kepler 186f. This is the best one to have life. Kepler 186f. is considered to be the best one where life is possible. And all of these, remember, are exoplanets. All of these are exoplanets. The planets outside, okay, our solar system. Okay? So fine, you understand. And this was a question, by the way, in one of the years. What is Goldilocks zone was a question. Okay? Acha, just know one more term, something called as Fermi paradox. Something called as FERMI, Fermi paradox. I mean, if you look at the data tells us that 1 in 5 exoplanets can have life. If you go by statistics, okay, and if you add up all of that, the possibility of life is in as much as 40 billion exoplanets में, because stars में possible है. Okay, a lot of data there. Fermi paradox says that although there is so much of possibility of life to be there, yet we have not found life elsewhere other than Earth. Maybe in the future we might find, but ये paradoxical है. In the universe, in our galaxies, there are so many possibilities of life. Okay, but yet we have not found life like that of Earth anywhere else. Right down here, Fermi paradox is that despite billions and billions of planets, despite billions and billions of planets where life can be found, because there is evidence of water, comma, right temperature, presence of water, the right temperature, okay, comma, the presence of numerous Goldilocks zones, and yet we are yet to find or discover a planet with life. Okay, one of the NASA missions has said कि 40 billion exoplanets with Goldilocks zones exist, but हमें life मिला नहीं. We call this as the Fermi paradox. ठीक है? So 3-4 things around Earth. Okay, the conditions. Now one more. This is a recent one. December, January में they came up with this one. One more thing. While searching for life on exoplanets, okay, one new technique is to look for planets. आप बताओ अब क्या होगा? प्लैनेट जहां पर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड ज्यादा है या कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कम है? Okay, see, these are some signs of life. Okay, like I said, now one, अगर पानी मिल गया, then life possible there. Second is look for temperature like Goldilocks zones, you can have life there. This is a new one. Then when you're looking for, okay, life across planets, studying atmosphere there, what will you look for? A planet which has more CO2 or less CO2? Answer is less CO2, not more CO2. Because less CO2 means there's process where carbon gets recycled. Earth में ज्यादा CO2 है कि कम CO2? ये बताओ पहले. compared to some of the other planets, does Earth have more CO2 in the atmosphere? It has more or less? It is less. Earth में कितना carbon dioxide है? Approximately 0.03% by volume of the dry air. Okay. ये कम क्यों है? Anybody knows why is it less? Because lot of carbon dioxide of the atmosphere was washed down. When it rained, hydrological cycle, carbon dioxide gets washed down, and today the bulk of carbon dioxide is in the oceans. Oceans may you have dissolved carbon dioxide. That's the one concern. Na? When global warming happens, the oceans will release carbon dioxide. Okay. Another example of enhanced greenhouse effect. Okay. So remember this, that a point here is that compared to what is possible, Earth's atmosphere has okay, far less carbon dioxide. Earth's atmosphere has far less carbon dioxide. Okay, because the atmospheric carbon dioxide, has been washed down. Okay, because of the hydrological cycle, and water processes. Hence, okay, planetary atmospheres that have lesser carbon dioxide concentrations may be indicative of presence of life. I wanted to read one passage. I hope I have it with me. This was a very recent NASA conclusion, as recent as December में ही था. Okay, I was keeping track. It says, I'm just reading out, you don't have to write down anything. Okay. It says that researchers propose that if a terrestrial planet मतलब क्या है? A planet like Earth, which is rocks, which has a right axial tilt, and it is in the right Goldilocks zone. Okay. It says that if a terrestrial planet has substantially less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere compared to other planets in the same system, it could be signs of liquid water and possibly life on the planet's surface. And this has been confirmed by JWST, it is James Webb Space Telescope. While scientists are looking for signs of habitability, and there are many factors for it, relatively depleted carbon dioxide is now one of the important habitability signs. Head down this point, लिख लो, head down here. This has been confirmed by JWST observations, James Webb Space Telescope. James Webb Space Telescope, confirmed by JWST. Okay. Relatively, next sentence, relatively depleted carbon dioxide is the only sign of habitability. That is detectable now. what it's saying is कि पानी है या नहीं, you will know only when you reach the surface of a planet, right? Or you reach the lower levels of atmosphere. Imagine this is your planet, okay, and these are the layers of atmosphere. Whether you have water or not, you must come here, or you must come here. But if you observe from very far, you can observe the atmosphere, right? So before you move towards pani hai ya nahi, if the atmosphere has less carbon dioxide compared to other planets, that could be indicative of कि यहाँ पर पानी हो सकता है. It's almost like the only detectable sign, okay, that tells us life is possible. तो ये जो research है, it is now called as the holy grail for discovering extraterrestrial life. The holy grail for discovering extraterrestrial life. Holy grail is something like an evidence. Okay, it is the best evidence for discovering extraterrestrial life. Okay? Fine, let's move on. So I've taken care of the rocky planets, Earth. What is Mercury? What does having ice on Mercury mean? What is the concept of Goldilocks zones? And how we find out why life may be possible. Some other aspects about the solar system. The next one is, whatever numbering aapke paas hai, you can have asteroids. We'll discuss the asteroids. Okay. What are asteroids? These are essentially rocks. They are fragments of rocks, okay, found beyond the orbit of Mars. They're found beyond the orbit of Mars. Okay, and there are millions of rocks. The millions of broken and scattered rocks. Some say the asteroids are essentially, they may be the broken fragments of an older planet. For some reason, a planet may have exploded, a planet may have been destroyed. Okay, and those rocks have remained, and they are now moving around in orbit around the sun, and they are found beyond the orbit of the Mars. There is an asteroid belt. Okay. Now there are many rocks, but then the three largest asteroids jo hain, okay, one is Ceres. Ceres is the largest one. One is Ceres. The second is Vesta, Vesta. Ceres. We have Vesta, Vesta, Vesta. Okay, and the third one is Pallas. Ceres, Vesta, and Pallas. These are the three largest, and they make up the bulk of the weight of the asteroids. It's like there are many small ones, but the three largest ones. If you add up, these three make up the bulk of the weight of all the asteroids. Some consider it is Ceres hai, okay, Ceres is also considered as a dwarf planet. Is also considered as a dwarf planet. एक छोटा सा planet है शायद, Ceres. Okay, और Ceres काफी news में, write down now. Write down. The study of asteroids, may be an insight into the study of asteroids may be an insight into understanding how our solar system was formed. How our solar system was formed. NASA mission The Dawn, एक मिशन है नासा का, is called as the Dawn mission. The Dawn, okay, has sent probes to Ceres and Vesta. Has sent probes to Ceres and Vesta to study origin of solar system. To study the origin of solar system. Okay? So asteroids are important that ways. एक और मिशन जानो called as the DART mission. The DART mission. DART mission का full form है, okay, a double asteroid redirection test. Double asteroid redirection test. Okay, so know this, that this is Earth. Okay, लिख लो पहले. Double asteroid redirect is one of the missions of NASA. Now I have our Earth here. Earth has an atmosphere, and Earth is constantly bombarded by lot of rocks. We call these rocks as meteors. Okay, meteors and okay, meteoroids. They are in the space. They constantly attack the Earth. The asteroids, they also attack our atmosphere. If there is a very big one and its impact the Earth, it's possible life can get extinct. Earth can get severely damaged. In fact, the last major extinction, okay, it happened around 60-70 million years ago. It happened, okay, in the Cretaceous tertiary boundary. It's also called as the Cretaceous Paleogene boundary. I'll explain this to you. Okay, what I'm saying is that Earth is threatened by asteroids. Earth is threatened by asteroids. One of the last extinctions, जो major वाला था, इस extinctions में all the dinosaurs, they went extinct. And this happened around 60-70 million years ago. Okay. It was a time called as Cretaceous tertiary boundary. ये time है. There is a Cretaceous time, okay, and then the tertiary time starts. Think of this as the tertiary time. Okay. Think of this as a time called as Mesozoic times. Mesozoic का जो last interval था, it's called as the Cretaceous times. So there was some impact of asteroids is boundary time में. It's called as Cretaceous tertiary boundary time. Cretaceous का जो early part है, इसको हम Paleogene भी बोलते हैं. It's also the early Cretaceous, tertiary is also called as the Paleogene. So some books will say Cretaceous tertiary boundary time, or they will say Cretaceous Paleogene boundary. Same things. Short में they write as, this C is represented as K. They call this as the KT boundary. In some books called as the KP boundary. ये क्या है? ये टाइम है. Cretaceous जैसे 21st century, 20th century. Okay, the times of globalization, वैसे ही है. This is the Cretaceous times. This is the tertiary times. We have something called as geological time scale. I'll come back on this maybe another 1 or 2 days के बाद में. Okay, there is a time called as Mesozoic times. Okay, Mesozoic times starts from around 240 to 50 million years से लेकर approximately around 62 million years तक सोचो आप. It's called as the Mesozoic times. इसका एक last phase है called as the Cretaceous times. So this time was when Earth was hit by a massive asteroid. Okay, it was hit by an asteroid, and that was responsible for the dinosaurs going extinct. Some of you geography में I would have told this to you. इसका evidence मिला है. This impact का evidence कहाँ मिला है? We found evidence in Mexico. In Mexico, there is a region called as the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay. Yucatan Peninsula. There is a crater. There's a बहुत बड़ा गड्ढा है called as Kikolub crater. CHIXU, sorry. CHIXU. Chicxulub crater. And that crater has the impact of the asteroid. In Mexico called as the Yucatan Peninsula. ठीक है, these सारा facts हैं to tell you that the impact of asteroids can impact life on Earth. Okay, so we are scared about it. So the scientists are looking at, is it possible that before one of these impacts Earth, can we strike it and can we deflect it? देखो मेरी तरफ कोई पत्थर आ रहा है, can I throw another stone so that it hits the other stone and deflects it? Like say, I have an attack of missile. Can I launch another missile and hit it so that it can get deflected? Okay, so we're trying that. ये DART mission is that. DART mission का objective क्या है? To try to deflect an oncoming asteroid. The objective is to deflect an oncoming asteroid. Abhishek, you still have a problem? Some of you are able to keep pace with me online? Is it okay? Abhishek, you have some screen problem. Is it okay now? All fine? All of you online, Sumit, Shivangi, okay, Nilavati, Pranali, okay, fine. Okay. So the DART mission was to try to deflect an oncoming asteroid, and NASA succeeded. DART experiment was a success. And they managed to deflect, okay, one asteroid called as Dimorphos. DART mission was able to deflect an asteroid called Dimorphos. DIMORPHOUS. ये फैक्ट्स आना चाहिए आपको और क्या. What is Ceres, Vesta, Pallas, the mission called as the Dawn mission, the mission called as the DART mission. Okay? Okay, now, you know about the asteroid belt. Okay. There are two more belts. One is called as the Kuiper belt. Kuiper belt. And another one called as the Oort cloud belt. The Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud belt. So they are something like, again, same thing. Isme kya hai? There are fragments of broken rocks. The same thing for Kuiper and the Oort cloud, but it's alag-alag jagah mein hai. The Kuiper belt lies beyond the Neptune. The Kuiper belt is beyond the Neptune. Beyond the Neptune, it has numerous rocks, protoplanets. It has numerous rocks, protoplanets, and dwarf planets. And it is a source of comets. It is a source of the comets. Okay, so some of our probes have been, is one called as Voyager. Okay, a very old mission tha. It has now reached the edge of our solar system. Okay, it has passed through the Kuiper belt. The news mein tha Kuiper belt. The second is the Oort cloud. Oort cloud is at the margins of the solar system of Earth. Oort cloud is at the margins of the solar system of Earth. It is much larger than the Kuiper belt. It is much larger than the Kuiper belt. It is made up of ice, gases, and clouds. It is made up of ice, it is made up of gases and clouds. And some comets may originate from the Oort cloud. Some comets may originate from the Oort cloud. Remember, ये दोनों जो है ना, Kuiper belt या तीनों, all three of them, they hold answers to how our solar system was formed. Okay. कैसे बना? How did gases get together? Okay. The source of the rocks क्या था? So they are studying this to understand how the universe has formed. The solar system has formed. Okay. कैसे होता है evolution? But ये भी जानो, the Oort cloud, some say it is maybe a hypothetical. Nobody has actually seen this. It's more of mathematical deductions. Okay. So some say that maybe the Oort cloud is more a hypothetical idea and it may not actually exist. It may not actually exist. Okay? Fine. So that's about these three terms: asteroids, Kuiper belt, and Oort cloud. Okay. The next concept: what are comets? What are comets? How they are different, and how are they important? 4 things about comets. One is, these are definitely one of the bodies in the space that revolve around the sun. Okay? They're one of the bodies, like planets, like asteroids. They're one of the bodies that revolve around the sun. However, the path of comets is very, very eccentric. It is very, very eccentric. and unlike the other planets. They're unlike the other planets. So if this is the sun, okay, and imagine this as Earth, Jupiter, maybe Saturn, maybe Uranus, Mercury, ठीक है. Whereas the comet का जो होगा ना, comet का path कुछ ऐसे होगा, like this. It is not like the regular path we have around the sun. ये बहुत ही अलग type के bodies हैं. Okay, so they are also one of the bodies that revolve around the sun, but the paths are very, very eccentric. Unlike those of the other planets, the third is the composition. The composition of comets is very different. Okay, they are rocks, they are gases, they are ice. They are rocks, they are gases, they are ice. Every comet has a core rock called as the nucleus. Around the nucleus, एक ऐसा atmosphere होगा. The atmosphere, this is called as the nucleus of a comet. This is called as the coma. Coma is the atmosphere. This is the nucleus of the comet, which is rocks. Okay. There is an atmosphere of the comet called as the coma, C-O-M-A, coma. And beyond the coma, there lies certain ice, gases, dust. It's called as the tail. Every comet will have these three parts. It will have a nucleus, it will have a coma, and it will have a tail. That's why it's very unlike any other planet. It's very unlike any other planet in terms of composition. Okay. And the fourth important point is, okay, because of its a highly elliptical orbit, okay, its path is very skewed, and the frequency of its visibility is very rare. Once in couple of hundred of years, because its path is very elliptical. Elliptical मतलब क्या होता है? Okay, it is not a circular. It is trenched like an oval like this. The path is very elliptical and it's very skewed. मतलब equal नहीं है. अगर sun यहाँ पर है, okay, it's like this. It goes very far away. Okay, it is a skewed orbit. So if Earth is somewhere here, okay, Earth can see this maybe once in couple of 100 years. One of very famous one was Halley's Comet. Okay, we see that once in 70 odd years. Okay, so its visibility, comets is very rare. And the importance of comet, is again understanding the origin of the universe. The importance of comet is again understanding the origin of universe, and to understand the origin of water, ice and gases. Comets में ice होता है. Origin of ice, water and the gases. I told you to right that Mercury has ice. वो ice आया कहाँ से? In all probability it has come from some comet crashing into Mercury. Okay, that's how Mercury had some ice. Okay, And you must know of 2-3 names of comets. One is Levy-Shoemaker. Levy-Shoemaker comet. This comet crashed on Jupiter. It was a very rare event. कि आप देख पा रहे हो, one comet is going and crashing into Jupiter, into any planet. Levy-Shoemaker comet. Levy, Shoemaker comet. That's one. Just know this famous name. We have this Halley's comet. हिंदी में comets को धूमकेतु बोलते हैं. Okay, and it is considered to be not auspicious. Okay, Halley's comet. And again, there was another mission. Write down here. There's a mission called as Rosetta mission. Again, NASA's mission called as the Rosetta mission. In this mission, NASA landed a mission called as Rosetta mission, where NASA landed okay, a probe on, it landed a probe on a comet called as Comet 6TP. It landed a probe on Comet 6TP. You landed a machine on the comet. It's like you're landing on the moon. We have done that. Comet 6TP. It's also called as Churyumov. इसका एक और नाम है. Comet this, or it's also called as Churyumov, another name of the same comet. It landed a probe on Comet 6TP, also called as Churyumov comet. ठीक है? So you understand what are the planets, what are exoplanets, what are galaxies, what are asteroids, what is Kuiper belt, what do you mean by Oort cloud, and a reference to the comets. Online, all good and nice? Online students, is it fine? Yes? Any doubts you want me to clarify? Asteroids are rocks, okay, which are beyond the Mars. Say this is Sun. There is Mercury, there is Venus, there is Earth, there is Mars. Beyond the Mars, एक ऐसा zone है, okay, where there are many asteroids and they're moving around the sun like this. Comet का ये path है नहीं. Comet are never a part of a group like this. वो अलग-अलग comets होगा. एक comet है that comes like this and goes away very far away. एक और comet यहाँ पर होगा that comes like this and goes away like this. Okay. So comets का जो path है ना वो बहुत अलग है. It's not a part of the regular solar system planets revolving. Comets are not planets. Yes, Naveen, Oort cloud is far beyond the Kuiper belt. Debarga, ice on Earth का तो process है, the hydrological cycle. Maybe the beginnings could have been a comet. I do not know. But most agree that water on Earth is from the Earth's internal process itself. The volcanism of Earth is asking me, Devar is asking me, sir, Earth में पानी कहाँ से आया? Okay. There are two theories on this. One theory says, like Mercury got water from outside, Earth also probably got water from outside. But if you look at the amount of water we have, it's unlikely कि बाहर से आया होगा. Most agree, the water is from the interiors of the Earth. The volcanic eruptions that we have, okay, the tectonic process that we have, they release what of gases, carbon dioxide, sulfur, and water also. No, Abhishek. Comets is not only rocks. Comets have. अच्छा, ये important point है. Asteroids का कोई atmosphere नहीं होता. Atmosphere is not there for asteroids. Asteroids are only simple rocks. That's all. टूटे हुए rocks हैं. But comets में rock part भी है, एक atmosphere का part भी है, an icy tail भी है. Okay, so some of you are asking, clarify, how is an asteroid different from a comet? Fine, it's a fair question. How is an asteroid different from a comet? एक तो asteroid का एक belt है that is beyond the Mars. Asteroids are broken rocks, maybe of an older planet. Asteroids, they do not have atmosphere. And most of them are very small, except for Ceres, Vesta and Pallas. ये थोड़े बड़े हैं. ठीक है. Comets have a very, very different elliptical path. Comets का origin, I said, is largely the Kuiper belt. ये Kuiper belt से आते हैं, many of them. And Kuiper belt lies beyond Neptune. Okay. They are not regular belts around sun. They have got very, very elliptical orbits हैं, paths हैं. The source is the Kuiper belt, and comets have atmosphere. It's called as the coma. It's called as the coma. And comets are not part of a group or cluster नहीं है. ये अलग-अलग individuals हैं. Asteroids are part of a cluster, a group में है. Abhishek, is that fine? Hello, Elias. Good morning. Oh, wow. So we have today's session live on YouTube, and Elias is good morning from Pakistan. Okay. Happy to have you in the session. We are good people. Okay, and I'm sure so are you. Don't listen to too much of political narratives. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Any questions on this? So I'll give you a few minutes. Turn the page and revise, please, and see if you want to confirm something from me. All of you. And when you revise, make sure that you underline while you are reading. Okay. You jot down if required again, separately. So quickly, just glance through whatever we have taught you. What is uranology? Study of Earth includes study of Earth in relationship to the extraterrestrial bodies and not only man. Yes.
From other Julian planets?
Yes, definitely. It's much, much larger. Much, much larger. उसमें कुछ cyclonic storms भी हैं. Jupiter के features हैं. Is one very interesting thing on Jupiter called as the great giant spot, which an anti-cyclonic activity. Yes, it has. But I'm skipping all of that because I think you don't need as much. Okay. The collection is called as Jovian planets. Means all of them are gaseous, largely. But there will be difference. Okay. There will be difference. Yes, you are right. Okay. Uranus का जो axis है, वो पूरा horizontal है. Okay, every planet rotates about an axis. ठीक है, Earth rotates about axis. और axis का tilt है, it can vary. Almost vertical, tilt, a bit more tilt. Uranus is almost completely horizontal like this. You can add this fact if you want to add, okay, maybe what, miscellaneous facts अगर कहना चाहो तो. There's a lot to tell you. I'm struggling to hold back some things. Miscellaneous may just know this, that the Uranus axis is horizontal. Is horizontal. That's why we say all other planets they spin, where Uranus we say tumbles. It's like rolling, okay? Because its axis is horizontal. So other planets spin, but Uranus is said to tumble. It kind of rolls. Know this? Then Saturn has rings. Rings are essentially rocks, gases, satellites. Okay. Saturn has rings. Third, Jupiter has something called as the giant red spot. Its diameter is more than 40,000 kilometers. Okay, ये अगर Jupiter है, okay, on the Jupiter there is one red spot. It's called as the giant red spot. Okay, and this giant red spot, its diameter is 4,000 kilometers, and this is an area of anticyclone. Area of anticyclone activity. कैसे बना है nobody knows. It's still a mystery. How was this giant red spot formed? It's a mystery. But just know this. You asked me, so I'm telling you a bit more. It's a mystery. A horizontal with respect to the vertical. Okay. Any tilt is always with vertical. This is the vertical axis. The vertical measured from the horizontal plane. Okay. It is the planet here. And this is the axis of spinning. ऐसे घूम रहा है. It's rotating. Okay. So some of them are more vertical and some of them have more tilt. For Uranus, the tilt is almost horizontal. बस उतना काफी है. Okay. So have a look again. We talked about the Milky Way. We talked about the shape which is spiral galaxy, Milky Way and the Orion sector, Andromeda galaxy, the concept of exoplanets, what is Goldilocks zone, what is CHZ, circumstellar habitable zone, CHZ, okay, and what is this idea of water and life, carbon dioxide is less and life. Those are the questions of assertion reasoning type. Okay. Then I've taught you about Fermi paradox. We've defined what is exoplanets. Okay, and the three belts: the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, and the Oort cloud belt. Nishant, they do, because अगर methane है, there is again possibility of carbon dioxide. So there are many more things, Nishant, and I am giving you a very small snapshot. But yes, stellar means stars. Okay, Debarga, stellar is stars, stellar is space. Okay, interstellar, between the stars. Okay, circumstellar, around a star. The word stellar means, okay, star. Anybody else offline? Any doubts? Okay. So let's move on to, I'm still with topics of, okay, extraterrestrial phenomena and objects. Let's move on. Now, something about the stars and the black holes. ये बहुत न्यूज में है black holes. Okay, some of this you will know from science and technology as we teach you about those probes and missions. Some from geography because they linked in some ways. Stars and black holes. So quickly, I believe you know what stars are. Stars are large heavenly bodies. They have their light of their own. They have light of their own. There's one difference between planet and stars. यही है. Planets, they don't burn themselves, but stars will have their own light. Okay, the light of their own कहाँ से आता है? Largely from the fusion reactions. Okay, the sun has lot of fusion going on, hydrogen, helium. Okay, there is some radioactivity going on. Stars are large bodies. They have light of their own, and stars can have planets around them. But not all stars have planets. Okay, if they have planets, they become a part of, or they are one solar system. Okay, so remember that much. Now, if you look at stars and their life, okay, so it starts with certain gases, dust particles, there are ice crystals, and there's some matter which you do not know. It's called as the dark matter. The dark matter. All of this together is in a form of a cloud. And the cloud is called as the nebula. Okay? जो स्टार का जो लाइफ है, बनता कैसे है, what happens to it. Okay, I'm giving you like a schematic diagram here. Okay, so there are gases, there are dust particles, there are ice crystals, and some matter we do not know. हमें पता नहीं है क्या है. There's a lot of other things. There are neutrinos also for that matter. There are some particles. One of which, okay, is something called as the dark matter. Dark matter because we do not know about it. We are still researching about it. All of this together, they form a cloud. A cloud called as a nebula. They are together as a cloud. Then this nebula cloud, it undergoes okay, accretion. Accretion basically means some type of solidification. Accretion word is, meaning of that word is, it is some type of solidification and it becomes a proper body. Okay, accretion and okay, stars are formed. And stars are formed. Okay, stars are formed. Now, once a star is formed, there are two possibilities. There are gases, dust particles. When they are together, we call those as nebula. Nebula is a cloud. Remember this, it's a cloud. Amorphous, a shapeless cloud. This cloud converts into a solid. It accretes. It becomes solid. Okay, and this becomes a star. And when a star is formed, there are two possibilities. One is a regular star or an average star. इसके size पे होता है. Don't go by the size for now. Just know this. A regular shaped star, and there is a average size, not a very big one. And then there are massive stars. They are very, very large. They are very, very large. Okay. Now see, fundamentally, जो भी star है, it essentially is a product of some reactions going on. So there is hydrogen. The hydrogen keeps on mixing, fusion. The hydrogen converts into helium. And when all the hydrogen gets over, the star will die off ultimately. Okay. So this is the stage when the star is forming. Now this star, okay, ultimately will start to, okay, weaken and will die. This also will start to weaken and will die. Okay. अगर regular star है, okay, so say case 1 and case 2. Online, am I okay, connecting well? There's one short outage here, but I hope I'm streaming fine. Yes, all good. Naveen, Rajratna. Okay, Nilavati, Ganesh, somebody will get in touch with you, or if you have my phone number, you can send your details to me. I'll forward it if you have any problem in joining in. Okay? All fine? Okay. So I was explaining how stars are formed and how stars die. कौन सा वाला? ये बंद कर दो कि तो पूरा अंधेरा हो जाएगा. ठीक है, कर दो. I hope you guys can बंद करो, देखते हैं पहले. Is it fine? Okay, this is a privilege in our class. We get to study romantically also. Okay, so guys who are behind, you can come ahead. So optional students are used to some of these outages. The GS guys not as much. Okay, so we decided to give you a taste of, okay, learning in a different atmosphere. Online students, you can see my silhouette now. Okay. You can see the board well, that's good enough. You don't have to see my face any case. Okay. The damage is done a couple of years ago. कुछ change नहीं कर सकते हम. You focus on the board. Okay. Now let's come back on this. So I said you start from a nebula. The nebula, this is the right word. You should have the word called accretion. 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 Okay, accretion. Accretion is one type of becoming a solid. Okay, think of something like solidification going on. And that becomes a star eventually. And this star can be a very large star, a massive star, or it can become a regular smaller star or average star. And the details of size, I'm ignoring it for now. In either case, ultimately, a star will burn out. Because star क्या होता है? I said star is essentially, okay, it is burning. And that's why it is bright and white. Sun is burning. And why it burns? Because it has a radio activity. The most important being the fusion action is going on. For fusion, I need to have hydrogen. The hydrogen converts into helium. So time comes when all the hydrogen gets consumed. Okay, and the star becomes ultimately dead. Okay, so either ways, the star will start to weaken and will die. Okay, so what happens is a regular star becomes what's called as a red star. It becomes a red star. Okay, it's like something is very hot, burning. Okay, it starts now becoming, okay, less hot. It becomes reddish in color. Imagine a log burning. आप लकड़ी जला रहे हो. It burns very bright, yellow light, blue light. Okay, and when it becomes less hot, it starts to smolder, it becomes reddish in color. and then of course becomes black and finishes off. So a regular one will become a red star and ultimately die off. Now a massive star, when this starts dying, it converts into first what's called as a red giant. Okay, a massive star becomes a red giant first. And this red giant will undergo a massive explosion. यहाँ पर वो नहीं, यहाँ पर होगा explosion. This is called as a supernova explosion. It's called as a supernova explosion. Okay. A superstar is like burning. Red giant, supernova explosion. And after this, it can convert into what's called as a neutron star, or it becomes a black hole. So black hole essentially is a dead star. You remember it that way now. A dead star formed from a massive star. The smaller ones, they don't become black holes. Okay, so what is a black hole? So हमारा concern ये है. And even this, I'll talk about this a bit more, okay, subsequently now. So a black hole essentially is a dead star. Okay, so write 3-4 points likho aap. Now write down here, all of you, that a black hole is essentially a dead star. Black hole is essentially a dead star formed due to supernova explosions. Formed due to supernova explosions. When a massive star dies down. When a massive star dies down. Massive star dies down. A black hole is a very, very high mass and a high density object. It's a very high mass, a very high density mass, with exceptionally very high gravities. With exceptionally very high gravities. Okay. Next point. The gravity is so strong. The gravity is so strong that it is capable of attracting and swallowing everything. It is capable of attracting and swallowing everything, including light. Everything including light. देखो, black hole को black क्यों बोलते हैं? How do you see anything? Okay, कुछ भी अगर है, how does my eye see it? I see it because there is some light source. The light source hits the object, and from the object, light reflects back, and you see it. अगर light absorb हो गया, तो ये black दिखाई देगा. अगर light pass कर गया, it'll be transparent. You still can't see it. You can see anything only if light hits it, light reflects and come to your eyes. But think of a black hole. Okay, anything coming here will get absorbed. So if you are trying to observe a black hole, आपको दिखाई नहीं देगा. That's why it's called as black. It is capable of absorbing just about anything into it. Okay, write down next. Black holes are often considered as graveyards. They're often considered as graveyards of solar systems and galaxies. They're considered as graveyards of solar systems and galaxies. Okay. All celestial bodies, all celestial का मतलब है outer space. all celestial bodies ultimately collapse into some black hole. Some black hole. ठीक है? So there is a black hole, ultimately वो सब कुछ खा जाएगा. Okay. So study of black hole is a good way of knowing how our universe has been changing, evolving. अगर black hole है मतलब वहां पर कभी न कभी star रहा होगा. And if something keeps on absorbing, okay, and all gets collapsed, ultimately ये भी करेगा explode. Okay, the Big Bang was something as a part of that cycle itself. That's why black holes are very important to understand how our solar system universe has evolved. Sun is not an average star. It is slightly bigger than average, but still not a massive one. Okay, Rajratna, it's not a small one. Okay, it is above average star, but it is not a massive star. But ultimately, okay, sun also will become black. In fact, sun is moving towards one more black hole. That's a new discovery that we have now. अच्छा, now write down something. इससे linked है, जो अभी बहुत news में है. It's called as TDE. These are some new discoveries we have. TDE. TDE is tidal disruptive events. Tidal disruptive events. Okay. So I hope you understand one thing. Black holes दिखाई नहीं देते. You just know it's there by some anomalies you study. But what happens is, there are some black holes which are so massive, so large, any planet or star, खासकर star अगर पास में आ गया, this black hole can pull it towards itself. When it's getting pulled, this star can start breaking apart and will explode. Okay, this star can